All right. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Joanne and this is To Crochet Curious. Well, it is blistering hot here, and so I am set up in the corner of my bedroom. Just want to be able to get this video up, but it's too hot in my yarn area to film over there. It is stinking hot here. So, yeah, well over 100 out there, and unusual for Western Washington. It's like living close to the beach, although we're not close to the beach. But that's what the weather is typically like, so it's usually cooler here than other places, but not today and not for the next several days. Anyway, that aside, it's Monday, and this is Never Have I Ever. This is my very first Never Have I Ever. And my project, I announced last week, is going to be a mandala throw, but the mandala that I chose, this one right here, let me pull it around here. This one right here. I started working on it, and immediately, like on the second round, I couldn't quite get what I was supposed to be doing, and then trying to build the third round on the second round, and it was so confusing and did not make any sense. There were no pictures that were close enough for me to be able to see what it was supposed to look like up close. I tried looking online for maybe there was a tutorial on it or something like that, because it's been around for a while. It's been published in this book for a while, but I couldn't find it. So I looked through the book. I found a different mandala that I understood the concepts of the stitches. And the other thing I discovered that I didn't like about this one was that it's basically the same row over and over again. And the only thing that gives it variation is your color changes. And since I was having such a hard time figuring out the stitches, I was like, how am I going to make this work if this is the stitch all the way through? So yeah, I decided that wasn't a good idea. But I tried, and I restarted uh, completely twice, and I frogged 3 times, and I just couldn't get it. But then I sat and stared at it for a couple of days. So I lost quite a bit of time avoiding it because I didn't want to fail at it already, right? But forget it. I'm moving on. So I picked out this another blanket, and this one is I'll find it. It's here somewhere. It's the Ellie Roo. And this one, it has a variety of stitches throughout, um, and the color changes. And it's actually meant for 2 different cakes. They used Sprite and Kraken, but I just stuck with the yarn I'd already picked out. The other decision I made was, since these things are changing colors so frequently, I decided to pull my cakes apart by color. And so, this is a learning process for me, but I just didn't want to juggle the full skein, especially when, some of the colors were running kind of long. So what I did is I broke it all up. So like I got a big gray here. There's quite a bit of this color, and then darker shade of the same, and then even darker. And you can see that some of these have color variation in them, but there wasn't enough of a color to make a full, make a skein of it. So I just broke it apart so that I can manage this a little easier. And then I'm just selecting a different color. Every time it says change color, I just change colors. What else? We got another gray. Here's a persimmon one. Here's bright with brown. There's a violet. There's another one of these. So anyway, I broke apart the large skein and then one of the nifflers and one of the whatever the other one is that I have, Pixie. I left the ball bands in the garage, so. But anyway, so that's that. So let me show you how far I got. Now, I made it through round 10. And even this, I had to frog a few times and recount stitches, but I'm getting it now. I think I'm getting it. So here's where I am so far. This is 10 rounds, and what's happened is it went from a circle to an octagon, and now it is more or less a square, and it'll remain a square for the rest of the throw. We'll just be flattening out these points on the sides as we go. They'll disappear into the next round that we do. So I've used 1, 2, 3, 4 colors so far. And I'll just try to do light, dark, light, dark. I might have, well, I guess I should have done a darker color next to gray, but oh well. I just came up with that just now. So, and the trick I'm finding is instead of, what I tend to do is not read all the way through the round. And so I will read this and do this. And then I'll read the next portion and then I'll do that. And so what happens when I do that is I end up frogging it 15 times because my stitch count isn't necessarily right. So what I have to do, like for instance, on this squaring up round, at the end, I had to have, so I got to think about this before I go back, right? I had to have X number of extended double crochets, X number of double crochets, X number of half double crochets, X number of single crochets, X number of slip stitch. And by doing that, figuring out what constituted one of the sides, I was able to see if I was getting it right as I went instead of getting to the end. So yeah, the round before that, I had to have X number of single crochets and X number of sets of 3s to make corners. You get what I'm saying is I need to know where I'm going in order to get there without having to frog it back over and over. So I intend to continue on with this. Now I have done round 10, 11 through 17 gets us through the first section. So I'd like to have at least that much done by the time that I do another video next week. However, that being said, every round it gets bigger, so every round it gets there's more stitches to do. So we'll see if I can get that much accomplished in a week. I'll certainly try. And then after that, there's a 9-round repeat. And you do that 5 times. So yeah, So that'll, after I get through the first section, the next section is about doing the repeats. And then there are 2 borders, and so you add the first border and then the second border. So pretty cool. I The only thing I didn't know was I didn't know how to do an extended double crochet, but I found instructions in the book. And then there's a bean stitch coming up, which I may have done a bean stitch, but I didn't know that's what it was called. I don't know. I haven't done that one yet, but that one's coming up on one of these rounds, and I'll figure it out when I get there. So I'm pretty excited about this. It's going pretty well, all things considered, now that I've realized that I have to read all through it and understand it before I start the round. I should be better. I get the cart in front of the horse quite often, so, but I'll keep trying. And so we're this far on the Ellie Roo, and it is from the Annie's Crochet Mandala Style Throws to Crochet. So that's what I'm working on. And never have I ever done this, but I'm doing it now. And it feels good. You know, I've been watching over the last, I don't know, 6 or 8 months since I've been doing this. Because, yeah, I just started my channel 8 months ago. I watched a bunch of people do the Sophie's Choice, and that looked so intimidating. But I'm starting to think, you know, Joanne, you can do it. So, you know, I'm just going to keep trying new stuff. So, stay tuned. We'll see how this goes. I hope to get it done in a few weeks. We'll see. I don't know. I'll work hard, I promise. Because the next thing up is going to be making a Grafgan. That'll be a big deal. Never done that. So, join me again next Monday for Never Have I Ever Mandala Style. Have a great day.